Hey guys, it's your girl Forever Jazz, and today I am here to talk about how to save and budget. I know it's hard. I know you want to go out and just spend your money on whatever you like, but sometimes you just need to save up a little extra cash. And when you have a budget in mind, you won't overspend. So, I'm going to give you some saving and budget tips and hacks that will make your life a whole lot easier. Trust me. The number one thing is to make a budget. Making a budget is so important. So, what you want to do is write down your income, how much you make for the entire month after taxes. So, after you have that, you want to write down all your bills and how much they usually cost. So, the average. Or, what I like to do is write down the highest amount that I have ever paid for one of my bills, so that way you know that you have more than enough money to pay it. After you have the amount for your bills, you want to subtract all of those things from your income, and whatever you have left over is what you can spend. You also want to make sure you're adding things in like gas and food. Then you can think about extras. What do you want to put aside to spend on extra things? Like clothes, if you want to go shopping for that month, or anything that you need to buy. Like if you need a new TV, if you need new makeup, if you're trying to save up for a new car, if you're trying to save up to move. Make sure that you have enough money left over after you pay your main things. Your main things are your bills. Those are a priority. You have to pay those things first. Before you do anything else with your money, your bills need to be paid. One thing that I try to do is save at least at the minimum 10% of what I make. So 10% of each check I try to put in a savings account. I'm pretty good with doing this myself, but some people are not. So if you're one of those people who are not good with just transferring the money over yourself, you may want to get it set up through your bank where they go ahead and transfer the money for you. That way you don't even see this money because it's already going to your savings account. So when your direct deposit comes in, the bank just automatically transfers that 10% over, and then you don't have to worry about it. Then you may not feel like you're missing anything. So it may make it a little bit easier for you. Me, I don't have that issue, so I just go ahead and do it myself, and then I pick and choose what I want to transfer that month. If I want to do 10, 15, 20. But if you know for a fact you want to just do 10% every month, you know you don't have the willpower to do it yourself, have the bank do it. That's why it's very important to have a savings account, a set savings account that you're not dipping into all the time. You have to go with what you have on hand, whatever is in your checkings account or whatever you have in cash. That's all you have to spend for that month. You cannot dip into your savings account, because if you're dipping in there, getting $20 here, $30 there, $50 here, you're never going to save. You're never going to have enough money saved for whatever you're saving for. And that's another thing. Have in mind what you're saving for, because it may make it a little bit easier if you have a goal in mind, whether you're saving for a short-term goal or a long-term goal. You can be saving for a trip, a car, a house, retirement. If you have kids, maybe you're starting a college fund. Whatever you're saving for, have that idea in mind and set short-term goals within that big goal. So let's say in 1 month I want to have $250. $250 in 1 month. So you know in 1 month you should have $250 in that savings account. In 2 months it will be $500. In 4 months it will be $1,000. See how quickly that $250 can add up? So It doesn't take long, it doesn't take much time, and if you have more money to put into the savings account, that's even better because you can reach your goal even faster. Another thing is, try not to just spend your money on things that you know you don't really need. Because I know sometimes we go out and we're like, ooh, that's cute. I gotta get that. I gotta get that. I want that. And you're just spending, spending, spending. And you're not keeping track of all the things that you're buying. And you get home, you check your account, and you're like, oh my God, I spent too much. So you have to think like, okay, I'm only going to spend this much at the mall. That way you already know what you're going to spend. When you reach that, you know you're done. It's time to go. That's it. Also, make sure that you're saving your change. Change adds up. I know sometimes you don't even want to be bothered with those pennies and stuff, because I know for a long time I was like that. I'd be like, oh, it's just a penny, I'm okay. No, get your change, put it in an Abso Pure bottle, one of those big water jug bottles. This is what I have started doing. I put my change in that Abso Pure bottle, and I just keep adding to it and keep adding to it. And before you know it, you will have so much money saved up. I did this a couple years ago. I saved up all my change and I went on a trip with my friends to Mexico. So I actually had saved up money for this trip, like spending money or whatever, even though the trip was all inclusive. I didn't know if we would be doing some extra things. So I still wanted to make sure I had some spending money. So I went ahead and I saved up change for like, I think I only saved it up for like 5 months before the trip, 5 or 6 months. It wasn't that long. And I said, okay, I'm going to use this change as my spending money. I took it to the bank and I had $500. $500 in 5 to 6 months. It was so easy because I'm not thinking about that change. And a lot of times I don't feel like digging for change when I'm at the store. So I just go ahead and give them cash. I'm not even looking for the extra change. So at the end of the day, I will go home, dump my purse, and whatever change I had, I will go ahead and throw it in that bottle. And that helps a lot. That is like, to me, that's one of the best tips. Like with change, you know how you just have change in your card, change in your purse, change you find around the house, change in your pockets. Save it. It will add up. Another thing you want to do is build an emergency fund. You never know when the unexpected will happen to you. And it's so important that you have money for when things happen that you don't expect. Because you may not have the money to pay for it if you're not saving. Let's say, for instance, your car breaks down and it costs $1,000 to get fixed, but you know you only have enough money for your bills this month. So if you don't have anything saved up, then you're trying to put together, how am I going to get this money to get my car fixed? Where am I going to get it from? Can I borrow it from somebody? But if you have an emergency fund, you don't have to worry about that because you know that you have that money yourself. You don't have to ask anyone for anything. You can just go ahead, take it to the shop, and get it fixed. And that's all it takes. So it's so important to have an emergency fund. That rainy day fund, trust me, it comes in handy. I can't even count how many times the unexpected has happened to me in the past year. How many times where I was like, oh my God. But luckily, I had some emergency cash that I could just go ahead and take care of it. But if I did not have that, I would have been out of luck. And I can't even imagine if I didn't have it. Like, that emergency fund really saved me. It has saved me so many times. So many times. Another thing you want to make sure you're doing to save money is eat out less. When you're making all those fast food stops, it's adding up, as opposed to going to the grocery store and making meals that will last a few days. That way you can eat them for a few days and you're not spending money every single day on food. So you also want to make sure when you're going to the grocery store to make these meals that you have a list written out. Because as we all know, when you go to the grocery store, sometimes if you do not have a list, you will pick up everything in sight. Especially if you go to the grocery store hungry. You're going to be like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And trust me, I'm guilty of doing this when I do not make a list. And sometimes that stuff will sit and sit, and then I'll end up throwing it out because I won't never eat it. So it's very important to make a list so you're not wasting money at the grocery store, because I don't know how many times I've wasted money at the grocery store. I bought stuff that I never even used, that I thought I was going to use because at the time I did want it, but by the time I got it home, I didn't want it. And so just be very cautious of that. When you go out with your friends, have a budget set to the side. Like, okay, I'm only going to spend this much the whole time we go out. Whether we going out to eat, going to a bar, or wherever we going. I'm going to spend this and that's it. Because you know when you out in the club and you partying, and you drinking, them dollars be going. And I know I was guilty of this when I was like 21, 22, going out and just swipe. And then the next day be like, oh my God, I didn't even know I spent that much. That's why when you go out, it's good to have cash on you so you know, okay, this is what I'm spending. And once this is gone, that's it. I can't buy anything else. That's it. Your night doesn't have to be over, but you can't buy no more drinks. You can't buy no more food. So you have to think about, this is what I'm going to spend tonight. And after that, it's over. Last but not least, live within your means. This is so important. Trust me when I say, don't try to keep up with the Jones. I know you've heard that saying before. Don't try to follow what you see other people getting or what they have. Like, you see someone with this nice bag, this nice car, this nice house, but you don't know their income. You don't know what they did to get those things. You don't know if someone bought them those things. So don't try to get what you see other people having just because you think you want it. You have to live for you to live comfortably. You have to think about what you can afford. If you can't afford this $5,000 bag, don't go buy that $5,000 bag. It's okay. You don't have to have what everyone else has. As long as what you have works for you, that's all that matters. So it's so important to live within your means, because you don't want to get yourself in a situation where you can't afford your lifestyle. Like, some people go out and buy these nice cars with $600-700 car notes, and then you have $400 or $500 in insurance. So you're paying over $1,000 a month for a car because you want to look cool and you want people to notice you. Well, guess what? Not me. I'm not. I'm going to live within my means and make sure that I have extra money saved up. Make sure that I'm good in the long run. You have to think smart. You have to make sure that what you're doing is going to work for you. And it's going to benefit you in the long run. Because that money that's going towards that car could be going towards a million other things. A million other things. Especially saving for retirement. Like, that's a big thing. Because I don't know if y'all know, but those Social Security checks be kind of small. And if you used to live in one lifestyle and you only live off of Social Security when it's time to retire, it's barely enough to cover your bills. So you want to make sure you're putting extra money to the side for long-term goals. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope these tips helped you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you have some tips for me or some things that I may have forgot to mention that you think are very important. Let me know. I want your ideas. I want to know what you think. And let me know if this video has helped you.